Let's talk about something fascinating. What if that feeling we've all been taught to call social anxiety isn't a weakness at all? What if it's actually something, well, something powerful? I mean, does this sound familiar? It's such a common label, right? You're just doing your thing at a party or in a meeting, and someone calls you out for being quiet, which, of course, just makes you feel even more on the spot.
And this really gets to the heart of the disconnect. On the outside, people might see someone who's withdrawn, maybe even nervous. But inside, your mind is going a mile a minute. You're not checked out at all. In fact, you're more checked in than anyone else, just on a totally different level.
So here's the big question we're going to dig into. Let's just throw out the old label for a second. Instead of thinking of it as a problem, what if we reframe it as a different, and honestly, a very valuable, kind of perception?
Here's a new term I want you to remember: active observation. This is not passive silence. This is an intense, real-time analysis of absolutely everything that's happening around you. You aren't just physically in the room, you are reading the room.
Now check this out. This is where it gets really clear. The social anxiety voice inside your head is super self-critical, right? It's saying things like, why can't I think of anything smart to say? Everyone here must think I'm so weird. But the high awareness voice, it's analytical. It's thinking, interesting. When he talks about that project, her body language totally shifts. I wonder what's going on there. You see the difference? One is completely focused inward on fear, while the other is focused outward with genuine curiosity.
So how do you know if this is you? Well, let's break down the 5 key signs that your quiet nature is actually a massive source of strength.
All right, sign number 1. This is really the foundation for everything else.
You process what other people completely miss. This is so fundamental. While a conversation is just skimming the surface, you're operating on this much deeper level. You're not just hearing the words, you're piecing together the entire social puzzle. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? You're basically a social decoder. You can feel that subtle shift in the room's energy when a certain topic gets brought up. That's not anxiety, that's a seriously valuable skill.
And building on that deep processing, we get to the second sign, which is your amazing ability to notice all the subtle social cues. And we're going way beyond just catching a general vibe here. We're talking about the specifics, the tiny micro-expressions that flash across someone's face, a slight change in their tone of voice, the way they angle their feet away from you. These are tiny little data points that most people are completely oblivious to.
Exactly. You get what's not being said out loud. That tiny pause before someone answers a question, or that smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes, that can tell you more than a whole speech, and you're the one who always catches it.
This incredible knack for absorbing all this detail leads right into our third sign, which is actually a deliberate choice you make.
And that choice is that you listen way more than you speak. Now, this is really important. This isn't because you're scared to talk. It's a strategy. Think about it. When you're speaking, you stop taking in new information. When you're listening, you're still gathering data. I just love this way of putting it. Your silence is an active, powerful tool. It gives other people the space to show more of who they are, and it gives you the time and the data to form a much, much deeper understanding of what's really going on.
So you're listening strategically, you're gathering all this data, and it all leads up to the fourth sign of your quiet brilliance.
You actually reflect before you respond. In a world that seems to reward the fastest, loudest comment, you value the most considered one. You don't just have a knee-jerk reaction, you take all that information you've been gathering and you process it before you open your mouth.
And this is exactly why when you do speak, people tend to really listen. Your words have weight because they're not just empty noise. They're thoughtful, they're precise, and they often have the power to completely shift the conversation.
So finally, when you put all of these incredible pieces together, the deep processing, seeing the subtle cues, the active listening, the reflection, it gives you a totally unique advantage. And that brings us to our fifth and final sign.
You see the bigger picture. Because you're not getting tangled up in the immediate moment-to-moment chatter, you get this amazing bird's-eye view of the whole situation. You're not just looking at the individual trees, you can see the entire forest. This metaphor is just perfect, isn't it? While everyone else is busy just trying to move their own single piece on the chessboard, you're seeing the whole strategy play out. You can anticipate what's coming next and understand the long-term dynamics in a way that the people in the thick of it just can't.
Okay, so maybe you're recognizing yourself in all of this, which is awesome. But now what? What do you actually do with this realization? How do you turn this incredible awareness into a real-world asset?
Here are the key things to do. First, you've got to consciously reframe that feeling. Next time you're quiet in a group, tell yourself, I'm not anxious, I'm observing. It's a huge mental shift. Second, trust your gut. Your observations about people and situations are probably spot on, so don't second-guess them. And finally, use what you know. You don't have to become the loudest person in the room, but you can pick that one perfect moment to share a key insight that literally no one else has seen.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Your quietness was never a weakness that needed to be fixed. It's a superpower waiting to be used. By just changing how you see yourself, you can actually change your reality. Your quiet brilliance gives you the power to see what everyone else is missing. So the only real question is, what are you going to choose to notice next?